Is Thomas getting a redemption story before Becca shows up on Bachelor in Paradise? Hey guys, and welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We've got all the details you need to know about Thomas and Bachelor in Paradise. But before we do that, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and I'm joined today by my Bachelor-loving bestie, Morgan Wright. And Morgan, Thomas just entered Bachelor in Paradise and has already made amends with a lot of the guys on the beach. Are you buying this rebrand nice guy, or do you think he's still the same guy from Katie's season?
Yeah, I think at least he's trying to smooth things over with the guys from his season. Look, honestly, I feel like it's a new season. They're on the beach. Let's try to give Thomas a little bit of leeway here. I feel like he's been through enough. And I feel like the guys want to sabotage his time on the beach. Just let him do what he wants. I'm over the Thomas slander, but I know we'll get all into it, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, he just got to the beach. They haven't even let him walk down the stairs, and they're already bashing him. I think they were even bashing him before he even got to the beach. They didn't even know he was coming. So I'm on the same page with you, but I also think we do need to remember this is the guy who openly admitted he went on to Katie's season to become the Bachelor. So we're giving him a chance, but we're keeping a close eye on him. And we saw Thomas take Serena P on a date, and they had a pretty good time. They went banana boating, and they even shared an intimate kiss. However, during their picnic portion of the date, Thomas did have to spend the majority of the date explaining to Serena what happened on Katie's season and explaining his past behavior. When Serena got back to the beach, though, this is where it gets interesting because she ran back to Joe immediately. She told him that she told Thomas that he should pursue other people because her commitment and loyalty is to Joe, but also Serena did admit that she didn't want to get involved in this mess. However, we didn't see that play out on the show. We only saw Serena deliver that message to Joe. So how do you think Thomas handled that breakup since we didn't get to see it? And why did we not get to see that?
Yeah, I thought it was a little strange. And I feel like it was even more strange when Thomas confronted Trey, or the vice versa, when Trey confronted Thomas, because it's like Thomas was like, well, wait a second, let me at least give you my side of the story before you just willingly believe what Serena had to say. Because honestly, there are always two sides to every story, and the truth often lies somewhere in the middle. I also feel like, Thomas came down to the beach and he automatically had to be on, defense because everyone was coming for him, about to ruin his time on the beach. So he had to get out there and address these things. And I just feel like his apology maybe came a little bit too late. Had he apologized before his date with Serena P, I feel like things would have been really different for him. But because he apologized after and he had that conversation with Serena, I think it really just backfired on him. And obviously we saw that fallout between him and Trey.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what happened when Serena told Thomas to see other people, because we didn't get to see that on the show. We only saw her deliver the news to Joe. And I feel like Thomas probably handled that like a gentleman. But do we actually think he really still wants to go for Serena P? Or is there someone else on the beach that would be a better suit for him? It would be nice if Serena told him, hey, there's a few other girls who are single, because we didn't get to see that breakup.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that he would still try to hook up with Serena P, knowing that she pretty much is all in on Joe, right? And, the annoying part of Bachelor in Paradise right now is that everybody seems to be pretty locked in their couples. And for the most part, it might be people just wanting to receive a rose, wanting to be loyal to somebody so that they can stay around on the beach until somebody that they actually want to see walks down the steps. So it's like, I don't even know who else he could go for besides a Demi who's ready to kind of shake things up. And yeah, I don't know why we didn't see that. It's one of those kind of continuity errors that we've been seeing a lot of lately. The storyline doesn't exactly make sense. I would have liked to seen Serena at least tell him, like, look, no, it's not going to happen. But we were really kind of left hanging with that.
Yeah, I mean, because we saw the breakup and the fallout between Demi and Brendan when Brendan told Demi on the date that, he thinks that they should be open-minded and see other people, but we didn't see Serena say that to Thomas. And I think maybe the reason we didn't see that is because I think viewers, I think they really want us to ship Joe and Serena. I think they wanted us to show and to see Joe and Serena's connection really form. And when Serena told Joe that she wasn't interested in Thomas and that she broke things off with Thomas, that's also showing the loyalty to Joe. And I just feel like they're trying to get us to fall in love with Serena and Joe because they have been this couple. So maybe they didn't feel the need to air, Serena saying that to Thomas and Joe, because then what's the point of her saying it twice since they only have 2 hours to possibly show everything that goes on? But it would have been nice to just see how Thomas handled that breakup, because we want to know if Thomas changed, if he really has matured, and if he is taking in what he is saying, because he apologized to all the guys. We saw that on the show. But is his actions actually going to follow through? I mean, Morgan, there is Natasha. There's Abigail, kind of. There is Deandra. There is Marisa, because Thomas showed up before Marisa. I mean, there are options. Do you ship him with Natasha even? Because she's kind of struggling right now after she realized that Brendan has 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
To be honest, I can't really see Natasha with Thomas, but also, to be honest, I feel like I don't really know the real Thomas. I know the drama that surrounds Thomas. I know the guys' opinions of Thomas. I know that the girls think that Thomas is hot, but we don't really know Thomas. I want to kind of compare it to the fact that out of Katie's season, I didn't know Trey. All I knew about Trey was that, he hated Thomas. That's really all that I knew. Now that I'm seeing more to him, I'm seeing his relationship with Tajwan. I think he's really cute, really funny. I'm liking him a lot more. We haven't got to see that side of Thomas yet, so it's hard for me to pick a girl for him. We've all seen the teasers. Yeah, we have all seen the teasers of Becca Kufrin coming down the steps and them going on a date together. So we know that he sticks around. But is it going to be Natasha? We also know that Brendan sticks around. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But they're tricking us, that's for sure.
He needs to get a rose to stay on the beach. The girls have the power this week. I kind of think he might get his rose from Demi, because, Demi got her rose from James last week, and we know she really wasn't feeling James. She was just trying to get a rose. So I think possibly Thomas and Demi could hit things off, but then we also saw Demi going for Kenny. So I'm not really sure, but Thomas is obviously going to get a rose because we saw him in the previews. And you bring up Becca. And also another thing about Trey. I mean, Trey also has the uncle. If Thomas had an uncle, maybe that would make him a little bit more likable, right?
Yeah, maybe. Having a hot uncle always makes you at least 1% more likable.
Exactly. So we have to bring up Becca because we saw in the preview, Thomas has a thing with former Bachelorette Becca, who has not arrived on the beach yet. So Becca is also a Bachelor commentator. She's a podcaster. So she definitely knows who Thomas is. She definitely knows the reputation he had on Katie's season. Becca probably even got the episodes early because she does the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. So it's very likely that she knows who Thomas is and has seen everything that has happened on Katie's season before going to the beach. So how is that going to work when Becca gets down here? Is she going to be the one pursuing Thomas, or is Thomas going to pursue her?
I think it's definitely going to work towards Thomas's advantage, the fact that Becca is coming in late, right? Because by now, all the guys have kind of wiped their hands clean of Thomas. We saw Trey, we saw Aaron say look, just steer clear of me. Don't talk to me. It's going to be the last time that we have this kind of situation. So maybe that's going to be good for Thomas that, that has already been done and dusted. They're moving on. They might not be best of friends, but they're not going to have these big blow ups anymore. And Becca coming in after that, I think will give Thomas an opportunity to show somebody who he really is. Let's not forget, this is the very first time in Bachelor Nation history that a former lead is coming on Bachelor in Paradise. She's going to be the golden child. Becca Kufrin will be able to do no wrong, especially considering how her season played out, especially considering how she ended things, or how Ari ended things with her. She's really been through the ringer. And I feel like Bachelor producers really want Becca to succeed. So I feel like Becca's going to be, the next hot commodity coming down the steps.
So Becca's going to be the Bachelor royalty, the good girl who might turn bad boy Thomas into a good guy. So that does work in Thomas's advantage, as you mentioned. But I'm also kind of wondering if there is anyone else on the beach that is even going to be interested in Becca, because yes, she is Bachelor royalty. She was a former Bachelorette, but it also might be kind of intimidating having someone with such a big platform and such close ties with the franchise coming in. A lot of the guys are also locked and loaded in relationships. So I'm wondering how many guys are actually going to pursue Becca to begin with, or is Becca coming in here being like, I am interested in Thomas? Do you think that Thomas is going to get a better edit though because of Becca, or is that just not possible for Thomas?
No, I think that he absolutely will, because at the end of the day, the Bachelor franchise doesn't want to paint one of their leads in a bad light. If you're dating, a villain, kind of by association, you're going to be kind of lumped into that, thought process of, well, we don't really love this couple because we don't really love Thomas. If Becca is going to go in there guns blazing for Thomas, I think he definitely will have a little bit of a redemption edit, especially now that drama is out of the way. I know we do see one more big blow up between Thomas and Aaron. I think that's going to happen probably within the next couple of episodes. Fingers crossed it's before Becca comes down, because I just want somebody to be able to give Thomas a fresh, clean slate and see what happens. We don't know what happens without all the other surrounding noise. So fingers crossed that it does work out for them.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what would have happened if none of the girls ever heard anything bad about Thomas. Like, if no one even saw his season, if none of the guys from Katie's season were even there, and like he actually had a clean start. So, I mean, that would have just been a different layer, because now Thomas has this weighing over him. But if Thomas and Becca fall in love, this could be his redemption story, because there has been so many rumors that the two of them could possibly still be together today. And most notably, Thomas was spotted with a similar blanket and plant on his Zoom shot at the Men Tell All, which is similar to Becca's blanket and plant. Apparently, this is what Bachelor fans have picked up. So a lot of people think that Becca and Thomas could possibly be still together if they did get together in Bachelor in Paradise. So is there any chance that the two of them would work out in real life, like outside of the beach?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. There's a lot less pressure when there's not cameras following you around at every turn. I feel like most times with Bachelor in Paradise, there are relationships that form outside of the beach when there's just not the heat, the humidity, the producers in your ears. Do I overanalyze every single photo and blanket and plant? No, but I'm thankful for Bachelor Nation that can do that kind of stuff for me, because I'm like, how do you people notice this? In my opinion, the blanket didn't really look the same, but maybe I just have bad eyes. I don't know.
Bachelor Nation notices everything, because Raven and Adam, we picked up that they were pregnant before they announced it, because one of their brand partnerships on Instagram, they had the baby photos way back on the fridge. And if you zoomed in really close, you could see. So if Bachelor Nation spotted a similar plant, like, I know it sounds bizarre to think about a green leaf in your house, but I promise you, they are onto something. Okay. So just trust them, Morgan. Trust the process. That is everything we have to share with you guys today. So let us know what you think in the comments. Is Thomas getting a redemption story? Do you ship Thomas and Becca? Will they work out in real life? Let us know down below, and subscribe and ring the bell, because we'll be back with more Bachelor in Paradise tea all season long. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality. I was joined today by Morgan Wright. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow and say hello. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will catch you next time. See you later.
Bye.